Hello, welcome to this. Is the very first impressions video I've done of anything I believe ever on the channel, and this is Gwent, the CD Projekt Red are going to release at some point, and it's a card game. It's a enhanced and deeper version of Gwent, of the Gwent game that is available in The Witcher 3. Now, if you've played Gwent in The Witcher 3, this is a very different beast in a number of different ways. There are far more tactical strategies that you can employ. There are more cards with more varied effects that they have, and it has a great deal more depth, I think, than that game had within the game of The Witcher 3, which makes it much more suitable for people to play against each other. Now, this is just the technical beta on PS4. I should also probably warn you that I had played the previous test that was available on PC. I had it on my laptop, basically. I had to turn all the settings down because my laptop is old and dying. But it worked. It works quite well. It was a lot of fun. And since then, they've rebalanced a lot of stuff. Now, the single player modes available are the tutorial that basically runs through how Gwent works. I'm not going to run through that. I figure if you're watching this video you've probably already got an idea, and you can see a bit more when we actually play a couple of matches. And you can also practice against the AI. That is the other single player option that you have. You can then go into... Let's have a wee look at the collection first and how all that works. Now, for this technical beta, they have made all of the cards available. Every single one. If you have a wee look in the left hand side there, you'll see under all factions I've got 286 of 286, and then neutral 56 of 56. So you've got every card available in the game for the purposes of this beta, which lasts for the next couple of days. Which effectively means that milling cards to get resources to craft cards is fairly irrelevant. Opening kegs to get new cards is also fairly irrelevant and also unavailable. And also the currency is once again unavailable. Well, it's there, but you can't use it for anything because you've already got everything. The way it works is that you can, if I didn't have any of these particular cards, they would be greyed out. And then I could go to it and I could select craft using the cross button, and then I could use some of the resources, which is that middle icon of the 3 in the top right hand of the screen, to craft a card that I may not have had. Or I could have used the currency, which is to the left of the 3 in the top right hand side of the screen, which I've got 620 of that, whatever it is. I can't remember what it's called, but I could use that to buy kegs, of which I have 3, which is on the far right hand side of the top right hand side of the screen, to open effectively a pack that would randomly give me some more cards. So, as this is as well, you can also filter this by hitting the options button up here, and then you can sort, you can search by various different means. But there's not an awful lot of point going through that right now. I'll maybe do another video when the game comes out in full, just describing my experience with that. If you go into the deck builder, this is where you select cards to go into your deck. Now, there are, I think, 6 different factions. There are the Northern Realms, which is the one I use mostly in the game. The Monster deck, which in this technical beta is very strong. It's the one that I am most frightened by when I've come up against higher level players. Many of them have been using that to great effect. There's Scoia'tael, haven't seen a great deal of that. There's Nilfgaard, so what have we covered? Nilfgaard, which is the one I'm using, Scoia'tael, Monsters, Northern Realms, Skellige as well, so there are 5 different factions. This is the deck I've been using pretty much throughout this playthrough. When I got it for my laptop, I tried using the Northern Realms, and while I had a lot of fun, I did often get beasted by people using both Nilfgaard and the Monster deck, actually, to great effect. Now, when you come into the deck builder, there are some limitations to what you can have. You can have a maximum of 40 cards in total. I've only got 29 in this deck. I could put more in, but I've chosen not to. One of the tactics that I found very effective during the game was to actually limit the number of available cards in my deck so that I was more likely to draw stronger ones. So I tended to get all the wheat and stuff like that. Wheat and chaff, is that how you? Whatever it is. And yeah, I tended to take them out of the deck and make sure that I was more likely to draw better cards. Now, there are also limits on the number of silver and gold cards you can have. You can only have 6 silver cards and 4 gold cards in your deck. Now, the 4 gold cards I'm just going to talk about very quickly are Siri, who, if you play that card and lose a round, that'll go back into your hand and you can use it again in the next round. There's Geralt, who is not affected by pretty much anything and has a strength of 12, which is quite considerable. There is Stefan Skellen, who, this is quite a good card because if you play it in an early round, you can effectively pick another card from your deck to be at the top, so that the next round when you're dealt a new card or 2 new cards, you know at least one of them will be one that you want. And it's a fairly simple process to select and discard cards. I'm actually going to take one of these alchemists out because I never use them and they're kind of annoying. So you just basically select go over X, and if you want to put a new card in, you come down to the bottom here, and we'll have a wee scroll through. Let's actually just have a wee look at the bronze cards we could have, and consider putting in something that doubles the strength of all weakened. No. Quensign. Choose a non-gold unit in your hand and give all instances of it in your hand and deck a shield. The shield protects the bearer from 1 strength removing effect. That's quite good. I might take that, because there are certainly situations where that may be useful. Give this unit a shield. The shield protects the bearer from 1 strength moving effect, but not from... yeah. And this reveals... it's at 11 strength, but it reveals a card in your hand, so we don't want that. Do we? I mean, maybe we do. Let's go with Quen, because I've never used that and it'll be shiny and new and interesting for me. And actually, what we could also do is lose this guy and then put this guy in. And it's that simple to build your deck. The other thing you have is leader cards, which if you press square here you can see the different ones you can have for different decks. So you can reveal 3 cards in the opposing hand to see what they've got, and you can move all your spying non-gold units to your side, which is interesting but probably not that useful to me as regularly as this, which is the one I've been using. So yeah, I'm going to stick with that. You'll see that there are 2 versions of some of these cards, and that is because some of them are animated and some of them are not. Earlier on, for example, this card is exactly the same as this card, but as you can see if you look at the right hand side of the screen, that's quite alive and full of stuff, and that is basically just a flat image and nothing else. So yep, that's your deck builder effectively. Now let's go into a game so you can see how it works. Now, I'm working on the assumption that if you're watching this video, you probably already have a reasonable understanding of how Gwent works in the game. If you don't, sorry, go watch a tutorial video basically. You've got an options menu as well, which doesn't give you a great deal. You can change the language, you can turn off vibration, you can change the resolution, and here are all the audio things. Let's put that one, because I don't know what it does. I've never noticed it was off before. Right, and we'll go straight into a multiplayer game with the deck that I'm used to. I've never had to wait more than 7 seconds for a game so far, so hopefully that won't be a curse. Yep, there we are. and we'll see who we're up against. Just to let you know quickly, in the 10 or so hours that I've played this game, I have encountered a couple of issues, but only a couple. The one that I've encountered more than once is that when an opponent has attempted to pass their turn,
prepare for war.
It hasn't registered somehow, and then their turn timer has run out, and then I've basically been stuck. I could move around, I could look at things, but I couldn't take any action, which was quite annoying. Right, what does this do again? Choose a non-gold unit in your hand and give it all instances of it a shield. I don't have more than one instance of any of these cards, so let's drop you. Okay, that's not great. And let's also drop you. That's quite a good card. I'm going to drop this because I don't have more than one of any type of cards, so it's no use. Right. I feel like I should probably get this out there quickly. And then what I can do is move another card to the top. Do we want Siri or do we want Renew? We'll take Renew. And that means we'll definitely get that coming out the next time.
I'm itching for that battle. Men are best kept on a short lead. Troops, here now!
And at this stage, what do we win? Let's...
Order!
Do I have one of the things? No, I don't. Right, I think I'm going to play this.
Hail, Kerzer!
And then leave it at that. Now, there are also some messages you can send by holding in the L2 button. You can basically bring up this little wheel that lets you send a message to your opponent, effectively. I was wondering what was happening there. I thought something had frozen. What did he just play? Bloody Baron, spawn a botchling or lubberkin. And what does that do? Every turn add 3 strength. Wow. Well, I'm going to pass here. Because yeah, I'm not going to be able to, probably not going to be able to beat that, but he'll still need to play another card to win. So what I would hope to take in is a card lead to the next round at the very least. Or just a win. But a lead of 1 card isn't that great depending on how good your opponent's deck is. So I've effectively lost that round. Which is a shame, but that's okay. Right, now what do I want to trade? This thing, definitely. Right, okay, that's cool. So I need to win this round to progress.
Don't recognize your old mates. Let's actually just get rid of that straight away so that it can't play the other card that was due. I don't know what the other card was, but it didn't seem nice.
You one of us or not?
What does that do? Choose a bronze unit. Oh, he's used that at the wrong time.
Let's get this over with.
Let's see what his leader card does.
Regroup!
Choose a non-spine bronze unit on your side and spawn a copy. Okay. What to do? What to do? Right, so obviously, the numbers, the big numbers on the left-hand side of your screen there are your overall strength, and the higher that is, basically the one with the most points at the end of the round is the winner. Now that he's passed, it's not going to get any higher. I'm already up there at 23, so I pass, I win, effectively. There we are. Now we've got one round each, so we go into the decider because they're all best of 3. Which again, if you've played Gwent, you will know. What does this do? I don't think I want it. I really don't. Oh, that was risky. I don't know, I should have done it. But there we are. Shit happens. Let's start by bringing back Geralt.
Not your lucky day.
Interesting.
Fair enough. So if we play this, what that lets us do is fire this across, and after 2 turns it'll destroy the weakest non-gold card in that row. Which I imagine that 6-point loss is something my opponent will find quite vexing. I could be wrong, might not mind. But I suspect that will be less than pleasant for them. So, timer's on.
Interesting.
That is interesting. Because what he's done is he's basically raised, he's going to have to put another weaker card out.
The good of
Otherwise-
magic is the greatest good.
That 9 will still disappear. Needs to put something else on that middle row, otherwise it's gone. And it needs to have a weaker strength than the one he's got.
Private Snake,
Yep,
report on order.
go on. And I can just put this in here. I don't know what that did, but I'm scared. Oh, and it would appear I've won. Yay! So there you are. That's how the game works. So yeah, in terms of issues I've had, in 2 of the games I played in those 10 hours, I may have said this before, in 2 of those games the opponent has attempted to pass and the little thing's gone round, but nothing has effectively happened. So I can still look at cards, I can still move my selector around and stuff like that, but couldn't actually move, and they couldn't move, so I had to quit out entirely and come back in. And the only other problem that I've had is once at the end of a round, just at the beginning of the last round, I chose not to redraw any cards, and the big text box across the middle of the screen that says, "Are you sure you don't want to redraw any cards?" basically stayed up for the duration of that following round, and I had to again come out of the game at the end of the game and go back in. But it is a technical beta, so you sort of expect issues like that to arise. I mean, other than that, it's been very, very solid, and like I said, it's a good 10 or so hours I think that I've played with this game so far, and I'm still thoroughly enjoying it. It's really, really good fun, and I'm just going to go in for one more game and see if we can maybe come up against a different type of deck. I might hit somebody that's playing monsters and destroys me, because that has happened in the past. But let's see. Let's see. So far, my thoughts are very much that I'm totally going to buy this when it comes out.
Of sacrifice.
Because I think that even though it's not free to play as it comes out, you will have to actually pay for it. Let's drop you, because you'll come out anyway. We do have one of them. Okay. Don't need you then. Probably don't need 2 of you. Right, okay. Yep, aye, so when it comes out, I'll probably buy it and really enjoy the single player campaign anyway. I may, or I think it's highly unlikely that I'll put any extra money on buying cards or buying kegs or on the currency on that. I don't think you'll need to. From what I can gather from this, it'll be possible to build yourself a strong deck with the faction you choose without grinding too much. And I think the biggest issue will be that if you want to have all the cards for all the decks, then it'll be a harder work, but I think it'll still be entirely possible. So yeah.
Your humble servant.
Oh, let's have you. Interesting.
Please wait, Your Excellency. I'm falling behind.
Gloire en Kazer!
So again, he's going to have to play something on that front row that's less than oh, that's fine. He's always lost both those cards. Oh, because they were both going to be 7. Oh, that hurts.
Discipline. That is what you folk lack.
Right, I'm going to pass after this if he doesn't. Because it'll cost him a lot of cards to get back those 18 points that he's behind. Well, actually, maybe just the 2. If I was him, I think I would have let that go. So what it does do is it gives me a strong card lead, but I must win this round, otherwise I'm out. So we might have a couple of things in the bag there that I am maybe not equipped to deal with. I think I'm happy with most of these. Yes, yes, I believe I am. So first things first, let's stick this.
So
out at the
revolution
front.
is inevitable, merely a matter of time.
We serve her who is virgin, mother and crone.
Well. So at this stage,
If it's peace you desire,
I'm gonna do
prepare
that,
for war.
because that is a bit hedged. Interesting. Oh, it doesn't give you the shield if they've already played it. That's annoying, I didn't know that. Didn't realise that. Oh well.
Let's not get in the way of me axe.
So now my opponent needs to think about whether or not he has the cards to win this round, or if he wants to let go. So I'm going to fire this out, which puts me firmly in the lead. Oh, not very firmly in the lead.
Bow before modern Freya.
That's a very good. That's a good play. It's a strong play.
The
But
good
set
of magic
cards.
is the greatest good.
So for the next round, he needs to draw one card that will beat my Geralt that I'm about to get through Renew. And that. So I will not be redrawing any of these. But let's start with this, so you can see what I've got in my hand. And we'll just play this so that he knows.
Let's get this.
So there we are. That is the second game won. So, good game, my friend. Congratulations. Yeah, that was me winning 2 in a row, which is nice. So again, as I said before, I'm probably going to get this. If you like Gwent, having played with The Witcher 3, and you're actually interested in playing something similar, but admittedly much more in depth and much more strategically challenging, then I would, from what I can get from this technical beta, I would definitely recommend at least thinking about it. So yeah, thanks, and if you like this video, feel free to hit like. If you want to see more videos, then feel free to subscribe, although this is the only first impressions video I've ever done, and I don't know, might be the last, might not be, who knows. And if you have a comment you'd like to leave, whether it's to say that was good or that was very bad, by all means, batter in. Anyway, cheers, and bye bye.